Ladies and gentlemen, if I can have your kind attention. We're going to start the second half in higher. And since we're nicked on time, I hope that you'll consider that and try to be fast and efficient because of time. Hello, Jennifer. I haven't been introduced to you. All right, so let me see. The first up is Sipu. Come on up here. And this is also his first time here, so you got to do the whole 9 yards.
I'm going to read 2 small poems because we're out of time. Hopefully you like them. The first one is called Strangers. I want us to be strangers again. We know too much. I can read your breath and tell you are anxious. I'm afraid I might be causing it. When we were strangers, I didn't care. All I wanted was to know you. And that desire was beautiful. Now as I know you, I wash away layers. My mind has painted on you. As I have known little pieces of you, I have added on you little pieces of my desiring. Now I can tell which color is yours and which shadow is mine. How I wish I could return that innocence I took from you, that we smiled for nettles and celebrated with hugs as clean as the San Francisco fog. Now all I can muster is the longing for a lost feeling. Its memory so weak, it takes moments to feel what we used to feel instantly, and it lasts even less. Am I trying too hard to be what I shouldn't be? Is this how love fades? If knowing you feels like losing you, I want us to be strangers again. The next poem I wrote, I read something someone had written somewhere. I have this habit of taking someone's prose and converting into a poem just for the fun of it. Nice. So this is about 5 rabbits. I call the poem Fluffy 5. The first 2 are Snowy and Snowflake. One of them loved the other more. One was shy and would never play with humans. The other was in love as only bunnies could be. He gave up human pampers to be with her always. Sometimes he would make sad little faces, so humans would leave them alone. And in their solitude, he would make jokes, roll on his back, acrobatics, and she would smile, ever so slightly, a gentle twitching of the whiskers. Oh, how good it felt. That's all he got, that's all he needed. In the years he lived, remembering Snowflake's smile. The third one is called Cuddles. Cuddles was a gangster and a poet, all rolled into one. If bunnies had spirit animals, her would be the cool kind. You could easily imagine her hanging in the streets of London, with the pickpockets and the poets, partying it up and rewriting rock and roll. The last 2, Sabrina and Harley. Theirs was a twisted affair, one from the glass palace, one from the dunes. They fucked mercilessly. When one was done, the other took over. Their lives a long orgasm of pleasure and anger. Their private fears overcome in each other's lust. Being animals can be so liberating. Being animals in retaliation, so much more. Thank you.
Thank you. Sipu, welcome. And I hope you come back. You got a good sense of humor. We like that. Edward, my cue. It's all for you. Give him a round, please. He comes up. And then we got MK. MK Chavez, you're ready. You're next. And then we got Adolf and Michelangelo.
Okay. somewhere. I'll try this one. A man starts out as a traveler, suddenly becomes a hod carrier, and is then transformed into a lighthouse, crystallizing the blank in his mind where the keynote of sincerity is the mainstream, drifting down the sands of time on flowery beds of ease until he hears an explosion going down the street, and he remembers his umbrella. And how does he meet this menace if he does not retreat, if he does not run away nor withdraw until the guilty are punished? He does not meet anything. He is absorbed. A man starts out in the presence of cats, as if he were peeking through graceful pink blossoms, blooming out of standard deviations to fall quickly from their dazzling sunset glories, while still broadcasting petals of desire floating down memory's lane, still lank, lovely as a gauntlet of roses. And it's like being attacked and embellished in the act paged backward into irregular pearl, that even if his lies lack luster, they are good crutches for this oblique moment when a man starts out. Thank you.
Edward Mike Q. Very good to hear you. Now M.K. Chavez is next, and we have Adolph after that. Bring her up here with a nice round here.
The melancholy of U.S. architecture. If you open the box, you may find walls that end in sky. Everything built now stands dilapidated in the rusted landscapes of deserts. Open sand, and it may lead to Ghana, where water once broke stone. Open water, and you may find a flood of ships, cotton, indigo, and quills, declarations, emancipations, and the lost 40 acres and a mule, taking their place next to the history of us. Thank you.
Wow. Wonderful. That was great.
Yeah.
We were going to be talking as Ingrid has advised you. So that's wonderful. Thank you so much. And now Adolph Pickett is coming up here. Give him a nice round. Then we got Zero Boy, Clara, Garrett, Jack, Hubert, and Bear. What a wonderful set.
Thank you so very much.
So you want me to raise that up for you?
Yeah.
Okay. And in case, while I'm getting this set up, in case I did have occasion to be distracted, and I am collecting food donations and whatever for the San Francisco Food Bank. And should you decide to make that a monetary donation that you give to me, I will double whatever you hand me and see to it that those people who need it get that. We have a couple of bags of food that have already been given this evening, but I make that a little tradition here. So just let me know after things are over, and I will take care of whatever you do. And like I say, I'll double it. Double it? What the heck? Why not?
I just want to hear myself say, all right, I got propaganda 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to just do one line of 1, and then I'm going to do 3. Third one. Propaganda number 1. The word folded over twice. It is supposed to make it right. That's just one line. Propaganda number 3. People depot. What you say you're going to do with those people, side 1 and 2, I will support. Winning cash, in and out the class, grass is what I do. Propaganda, not telling the truth, getting ducks to talk, rabbits to stand and run, lay eggs that's cut for fun, roads and bridges that never leave where they are from. Getting got. I can sing, getting caught, springs money, holly on honey. Feel it? Rushing to scrub file, to can friends, to showboat. Falling from the light, saying it is coming slow. Maybe in 50 years. Propaganda. How truth takes a back seat, a passenger seat. Having the driver always running out of gas, he tells us the light is red. It tickled me too.
Hand off, thank you so much. I like this guy. Give him another round of applause together. That guy, he has that way of talking that just brings us right in. Zero boy. Zero boy. All right, this is your first time here? Yeah. Okay, another one, ladies and gentlemen. Come on, let's do the right thing. Freedom Mike, welcome in. Give him a nice. Ah! Sorry.
Dan.
Yes, dear.
There's a lot of feedback coming up.
Yeah.
Oh.
Can you turn it down?
Yeah.
What's that like here?
Okay. Try that now. See what that works like. Yeah, that's good. We're happy.
Next stop, San Francisco. Next stop, San Francisco. We're now approaching San Francisco Airport. Please bring your seats to an upright position. Ladies and gentlemen, calling from Trump Broadcast News. As you understand, the bombs will be flying in about 20 minutes. You can see from the tapes, President of Mexico claiming to pay for the wall. As you all recall, before the president was made president for life, he did make it clear that Mexico would pay, and the tapes, as you can see, the president... Now, some of you are claiming that he's saying he's not going to pay for the wall, but since most of you can't speak Spanish, really, he is saying he's going to pay for the wall. From the town of Scrooby, the ancient pilgrims via Amsterdam and the Netherlands landed on the shore. That's why we celebrate Thanksgiving. I lost my consciousness, man. Someone took my consciousness. I'm not leaving this place until someone finds my consciousness, man. Where's my consciousness? I don't know who took my consciousness, but I left my consciousness on this table, and someone took my consciousness, and I can't find it. I don't know what you're talking about, man. This is my consciousness. And it's really funny how my poem is about how someone drove real close to me, and I smashed your window and ran away. But I know someone took my consciousness after I ran away. Wait a minute, I'm smiling. I lost my consciousness.
Thank you mightily and healthily. And now, just to show you how we can segue here, the wonderful and magical Clara Sue is now coming to up. And we have Gareth and Jack and Buford and Bear. And let me just adjust this for her preemptorily, as they say in France.
Okay. Propaganda.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Vote Trump. Protect our culture, language, and border. This is a poster from the National Policy Institute. Swaggering white goose, brightest of bright, maps muddy turf with big yellow webs. Puffed up high drama, quack, quack, quack. No more wimpy, unintelligible sour notes. Lightest of light, fortified with rolling shutters, shakes out every drop of impurity. A propaganda, standing erect in line for a morning drink, trailing a fine news mistaken for a dog. With Donald Trump, we feel like we have a dog in the fight for the first time, says Richard Spencer.
Cool. There we go. I like it when someone knocks the theme out of the park there. Thank you so much. Garrett Murphy, speaking of knocking things out of the park. Garrett Murphy, then we got Jack, Buford, and Dare. Then our wonderful prizes of the evening. And like I say, if you choose to make a donation, I will see to it is doubled and get to the right place at the right time in the right circumstances. He mumbled.
My idea for a new kind of TV show. While I was seated at home one day, I got an idea for a new type of TV show. The storyline went as follows. The media of such and such a country has been taken over by one cold-hearted big brother. It saturates the populace with unquestioning reverence towards authority large and small under the guise of heartwarming family values. In this such and such a country, the schoolyard bully, for example, has become the virtuous hero of the dramas, the comedies, the court shows, and news, and even of all three branches of government. And the populace is completely enervated. They have learned to enjoy seeing humiliation, even their own, on a daily basis. Shouting matches are the tonic of the day, no warm and fuzzy with the school children here. Whippings, beatings, slams on the walls, and tests, and more tests win the day here. Police ride roughshod over those who are different, be it by race, nationality, religion, or some other immutable, and are subject to medals, promotions, and veneration, especially if they overreact and kill or maim. While the country's own caretakers of schoolyard bully come to extend the skills learned on the playground and extend it to the city, county, state, and nation to the rest of the world simply because he can. Now, of course, there must be a few opposed to all this, but they shall not win. These you see are the new bad guys who are traitors to the such and such a country, and bad guys never win. All have learned to love the perpetrator and the hell with the victims. How's that for a new type of TV show? I sent the idea to the producers of programming, surely they can see the numbers multiplying in their heads. A few weeks passed before I hear from them. Finally, the response from them came in the form of an envelope, and I got the shock of my life as I read, "Dear sir, we regret to inform you that we have rejected your proposal for lack of originality. We suggest you develop an imagination, or perhaps become a journalist, for your work, you see, as written as is nothing more than a simple diary of a very routine day."
Yeah, baby! Another hit for the theme on propaganda. Now our mini feature of the evening, Jack Melliner's coming up before Buford and Bear to close it out. So give him a nice round.
News and entertainment. I know I must be paranoid, but yet it seems to me two things have everyone annoyed about broadcast TV. One, that imagination masks social psychology. Then two, who information asks may propagandize speed. Down but not out. As meteor to Gulf of Mexico a few score million years or so ago, now fist of crazy techno-man to jaw of Mother Nature, who'd but fear some flaw when species die off and the melting poles so long puzzle us. Yet what consoles when all too human beings cyber's creed efficiency for profit shows a need for vast revamping. Let us make room for poets who cry anything but doom. The watered acres and one man, with combine and with chemical, feed cities. Don't we find that plan downstream a little inimical? For the energy crunch, more than one to a car. For the smog, put trucks on the trains. Let fitness recycle its craze near and far, and holistic farming reconquer the plains. This is called Death Wish for Immortal Fate. The only real fun is fear that acts of man or God inspire. The only joy in life is ire alone without a lover near. Expectant of chaotic war, the ennui frozen spirit wakes. Some hope for death is all it takes for hordes of men to dream once more, though only nightmares endgame dreams. They're just the ones that will suffice to end in strife a fleeting life of boredom's duperous extremes. Revenge's dampened embers flare, the soul in stifled rage amused. Having friendship long refused, desire for death has come to care. For conscience dies that can't confess, like desk-bound job with inanition, like friendship dies with competition, desire with possessiveness. It's called the fallibility jig. Old Tom and Jim thought democracy gave the greatest good to the most of folk, but maybe they did not foresee 99% wage slavery's yoke. Oh, when really big ideas fail, they fail really big. But ain't no need to weep and wail doing the fallibility jig. Old Henry Ford thought and thought till at last he figured out how to channel the blast and saved us all so much time and fuss, but the last horse lap is on us. Oh, when really big ideas fail, they fail really big. But ain't no need to weep and wail doing a fallibility jig. The unforeseen. I blame not them who made the car. I don't fault those who bought it. But global warming, here we are, though none who wrought had sought it. We've nukes aplenty to deflect the next incoming meteor. Our bloodlust we can now reject for passions even meteor. Once, book burning by winning troops put culture's ancient gifts at risks, which universal counting coops is over now. They're all on disc. 'Twas often so in days of yore, when info went to few and slow, that trumped-up wars waxed old before we knew the shams from which they grew. From Tonkin Gulf to Dominoes, to dear Kuwait's slant drilling guilt, to lies of yellow cake to those that tried to hide while blood was spilt. How vows we made the Taliban, when helping win the war called cold, once broke, made them foes every one, but news was slow in days of old. Faces behind the news. Sound bites of tragedy on the jerk you news. There's a shock you synopsis of the worst, with hardly a hint to help wonder's views of the who and why, of victim or cursed. So it's jerk you, shock you, that's all you get between the sheep chop, slapstick, home clip shows. On the two propaganda's your only bet, suspicion of their ill will deeper grows. But don't let them split or desensitize you. Brotherhood and empathy are forces they fear, since they bent their love toward material gear, and their lips are locked in a permanent sneer.
Thank you, our mini, Jack Mellinger, Rare Bird. He now Buford is coming up before Bear. Our picture closer, super duper bulldozer, will take care of these huge, fabulous prizes. Door prizes designed, like I like to say, with your mind. It's going to be huge. Huh? It's going to be huge. It's going to be huge. Huge. He has small hands, you know.
This is called This is called mentoring. I carry in a poem I've had published in a certain literary magazine, wanting my student to take her talent seriously. She has hair down nearly to her knees and an almost constant somber expression that occasionally cheers up. Today, she takes a submission information in a matter-of-fact manner, puts it in her backpack on her way to the long Thanksgiving weekend. Her two teachers, the married one with two grown stepkids, and me, the divorced man whose daughter used to be like Brenda, a goth-like creature working through teenhood.
Nice.
All right. This is called She Calls Me. Won't be here for Thanksgiving. No money, she says. The message on the phone, San Diego tinged. San Francisco me, tired, still disappointed she's there.
Nice. All right, Bear. It's up to you to knock it out and show us where we go. What the heck is up with us these days?
Yeah, so just a little brief story because Yoko Ono's on the mind. Yoko Ono. So I don't know if you know the story of how Yoko and John met, but it's kind of fantastic. Yoko was having either she was part of a gallery show or she was having her own show. Anyway, and John showed up there, but one of her pieces was an apple, which is where the Apple logo for the Beatles came from, sitting somewhere, and the idea was that over time it would decompose and it was this whole thing. And it turns out that something happened that she did not expect with her piece, which was John came in, took up the apple, and ate it. So, kind of goes into this poem where I've been thinking a lot about duality, and I once had a student, probably 7, asking me why on the Academy Awards actresses and actors had separate categories. I didn't have time to explain, money and like ratings and all that, but that got me thinking about the divide between men and women seems to be so huge right now. Some of where this comes from. Actor, actress, emperor, empress, governor, governess, poet, poetess, 2 sides, 1 coin, mat, mattress, 2 sides, 1 coin. 1 marks a boundary, a protective amulet where you wipe mud and dog shit, where you leave behind war and weapons that welcomes you in with a single word. The other you lay upon to love and be loved, to wrap up in wounds of warm quilts and arms, to rest and replenish, to be told it will all be okay, to dream and nightmare, to awake and drink coffee. Before you return to the doormat that welcomes you back to the pack and the fray of the tribe of togetherness, being sprung forth again from the womb, goddess, God, 2 sides, 1 coin. So, the biggest story affecting me right now is the whole Standing Rock situation. This is just tearing me to pieces. I think this is a perfect example of what's happening in America as a whole. I think this is sort of will be the catalyst for whatever is to come forward, because things are not going well there. In fact, they're getting worse. I'm sure many of you have heard they're spraying water.
Yeah.
But it's got much worse than that. At night, when under the cover of night, they're now flying over planes that are spraying DDT and poisons.
Yeah, they're coming up and throwing up in the morning.
Right. So, in solidarity with them, I'm going to read one of the greatest pieces of literature I've ever read in my life. This was written in 1885 or something by Chief Seattle, was what the city was named after, and he wrote this letter to Washington. And so I think it would be best if we all closed our eyes so you were not focused on me but on the words, and you might think about your interaction with nature and with animals, but this is for them. The president in Washington sends word that he wishes to buy our land. But how can you buy or sell the sky, the land? The idea is strange to us. If we do not own the freshness of the air and the sparkle of the water, how can you buy them? Every part of the earth is sacred to my people, every shining pine needle, every sandy shore, every mist in the dark woods, every meadow, every humming insect, all are holy in the memory and experience of my people. We know the sap which courses through the trees as we know the blood that courses through our veins. We are part of the earth, and it is part of us. The perfumed flowers are our sisters, the bear, the deer, the great eagle, these are our brothers, the rocky crests, the dew in the meadow, the body heat of the pony, and man all belong to the same family. The shining water that moves in the streams and the rivers is not just water, but the blood of our ancestors. If we sell you our land, you must remember that it is sacred. Each glossy reflection in the clear waters of the lakes tells of events and memories in the life of my people. The water's murmur is the voice of my father's father. The rivers are our brothers. They quench our thirst. They carry our canoes and feed our children. So you must give the rivers the kindness that you would give any brother. If we sell our land, remember that the air is precious to us, that the air shares its spirit with all life that it supports. The wind that gave our grandfather his first breath also received his last sigh. The wind also gives our children the spirit of life. So if we sell our land, you must keep it apart and sacred, as a place where man can go to taste the wind that is sweetened by the meadow flowers. Will you teach your children what we have taught our children, that the earth is our mother? What befalls the earth befalls all sons of the earth. This we know. The earth does not belong to man. Man belongs to the earth. All things are connected. Like the blood that unites us all, man did not weave the web of life. He is merely a strand in it. Whatever he does to the web, he does to himself. One thing we know, our God is also your God. The earth is precious to him, and to harm the earth is to heap contempt on its creator. Your destiny is a mystery to us. What will happen when the buffalo are all slaughtered, the wild horses tamed? What will happen when the secret corners of the forest are heavy with the scent of many men, and the view of the ripe hills are blotted with the talking wires? Where will the thicket be? Gone. Where will the eagle be? Gone. And what is to say goodbye to the swift pony and the hunt? The end of living and the beginning of survival. When the last red man has vanished with his wilderness, and his memory is only a shadow of a cloud moving across the prairie, will these shores and forests still be here? Will there be any of the spirit of my people left? We love this earth as a newborn loves its mother's heartbeat. So if we sell you our land, love it as we have loved it. Care for it as we have cared for it. Hold in your mind the memory of the land as it is when you receive it. Preserve the land for all children and love it as God loves us. As we are a part of the land, you too are a part of the land. The earth is precious to us. It is also precious to you. One thing we know, there is only one God. No man, be he red man or white man, can be apart. We are all brothers after all.
If there's any title for that, put it on there. Thank you. Well, that's a thing to kick it out with. Hold on. Go ahead.
I just want to say, as I have talked from the prophecies of the seventh generation, you guys are part of that. It's not just about Indian people in the seventh generation. It's about the who. So what's going on in Standing Rock is at a very crucial moment. But never forget this. This movement is not going to end if we don't want it to end, because of the alliances that are going on up there. Over 300 Indian nations in this country have gotten together. Indigenous people around the world are fighting back, and they're coming here as well. Muslims have been standing there. The world is watching this time. And so, what I'm trying to say is the breadth and the depth of the support that's going on is there. Now, what we need to do as people is to talk to our neighbors about why this is going on, about why our water's so fucked up. You can't drink a good, clean glass of water anymore. Our Pacific Ocean is filled with radiation. Our streams have hardly any salmon in it. The thing is almost at a tipping point.